Last week I started a series on the Sabbath, and I looked at how it's not intended to be a harsh discipline that takes life from us, but that it's actually a gift from God that we can take part in. A gift that says, take a rest each week. And this week I want to look at how that gift isn't just for us, but it's for the whole of our society, and it's actually really relevant at the moment in our society. As we look at the society around us, we see mental health problems on the rise, and often this is because of stress-related issues that people are under. We see loneliness and family breakdown on the rise, often because we're too busy to invest in relationships and to care for those around us. Also, we see more and more people turning to Eastern practices such as meditation and yoga and mindfulness. And it's because people are starting to realise we can't go on at the pace that we have been. There's growing discontent towards the ceaseless rat race that we step onto as soon as we go to nursery, and often we've joined it earlier just by accompanying our parent or carer as we sit in our pushchair or in the car seat as they go around their ceaseless activity. As Christians, we could be modelling an alternative rhythm, providing a tired and increasingly sick society with a viable and life-giving alternative. But instead, and I'm ashamed to say that I, as a Christian, and I suspect that a lot of you are similar, have just joined in with this crazed over-busyness that society presents to us as the only option. Walter Brueggemann says in his book Sabbath as Resistance, he says, in our own contemporary context of the rat race of anxiety, the celebration of Sabbath is an act of both resistance and alternative. This is such a huge opportunity for us if we're willing to learn and to change. It's an opportunity to improve our own health and well-being, but also to show the world around us the way of life that God intended for us, the way of a God who says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble of heart, and you will find rest. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." God gave us the 10 Commandments to live by, and the longest of them concerned our rest. He gave us this commandment because he created us to work to this rhythm. We weren't made to keep going 24/7. He knew we would begin to crumble mentally, physically, and spiritually under the weight if we didn't keep to this rhythm. We would forget how to trust him, and we would become our own gods as we try to provide for ourselves constantly. And over time, we would fail ourselves, lose hope, and struggle to find purpose in the rat race. My Sabbath survey, which a lot of you completed for me a while back, found that 65% of us experience one or more stress-related health condition. But that amongst those that said that they never completely stop, that rises to 88%. But amongst those that say they do take a whole day off each week, that number goes down to 45% of us. This is just one area that is affected. But it has a real tangible effect on us if we keep to the rhythm or if we don't. The Sabbath asks us to cease, to step back from the unhealthy and destructive habits that we've become dependent on. It asks us to rest in God's love and to depend on him instead. It asks us to embrace countercultural, biblical values for our lives. And it asks us to feast and celebrate on his goodness and all the gifts that he has blessed us with, rather than just rushing by them too busy and stressed to appreciate and value them. Think of the effects that doing these 4 things would have on all the other days if we spent a day intentionally practicing this each week. Imagine the impact it would have on society and the life that it would bring. Jesus said, "I have come that they may have life and have it to the full." The Sabbath isn't intended as a life-sapping restriction. It's a good gift from God for us, that we can share with the society around us. And it's worth listening to Donald's talk on John's Gospel that mentions about this, which I'll put a link to below if you want to listen to more about how it's not a life-sapping restriction. God's rules were intended to bring life and to bring wholeness to us and the society around us. Next week, I'm going to look at how it's not just a gift to us and the society around us, but for the whole of creation. And then after that, we'll move on to how we can go about actually putting it into practice here in busy Sutton Coldfield or wherever you find yourself.